was born in a house with a locked front door. Love was a rumor underneath the floor. Mama had ghosts she never could name. Daddy left early and took no shame. I learned hunger before I learned pride. Learned how to sleep with fear inside. No hand on my shoulder, no voice in the hall, just thunder answering when I would call. I waited for footsteps in the rain, but nobody came to carry my pain. So in that dark where the weak ones melt, I learned to raise myself. I grew up abandoned under blackened skies, with dust in my heart and fire in my eyes. I cried in the dark when nobody could tell. So I learned to raise myself. No blood came back, no arms reached down. I built my soul from the cold hard ground. They left me alone, but they couldn't tell that lonely boy would raise himself. There were nights with no supper, just water and prayer, a coat full of holes and an old wooden chair. The neighbors saw smoke from the chimney rise, but never saw a winter behind my eyes. Schoolyard laughter cut sharp like wire. I warm my hands by a borrowed fire. Every insult, every empty shelf made me colder than anyone else. By 12 I could read a man's face, knowing anger was taking love's place. I fixed my shoes with a rusty nail, carried my books like a prison rail. I walked past churches with stained glass light, wondering if heaven saw me at night. Then one old preacher with tears in his tone said, "Son, God sees the child alone." I didn't become kind because life was kind. I became strong with a war in my mind. I didn't learn mercy from a gentle hand. I learned it bleeding where no one stands. There's a grave in me for the boy I was, but he still breathes when the night gets rough. He still asks why they never came, still carries my face, still carries my name. Let the field mourn for the years I lost. Let the drum beat slow for the childhood cost. Let the thunder roll when my father lied. Let the rain wash dirt from the tears I cried. I fed myself courage from an empty plate, swallowed my fears, spit on my hate. I taught my hands how to work, not steal, taught my heart how to break and heal. I found no kingdom, no silver crown, just a long road leading out of town. And every mile with the devil close, I learned what abandoned children know. I waited for footsteps in the rain, but nobody came to carry my pain. Now I stand where the broken kneel, and I know abandoned wounds can heal. I grew up abandoned under blackened skies, with dust in my heart and fire in my eyes. I cried in the dark when nobody could tell. So I learned to raise myself. No blood came back, no arms reached down. I built my soul from the cold hard ground. They left me alone, but they couldn't tell that lonely boy would raise himself. Now past that house on the county line, where the roof caved in like a guilty mind. The windows stare like hollow eyes, the porch still creaks with old goodbyes. I don't go in, I don't touch the gate, I don't feed the wolves that taught me hate. I just tip my hat to the boy back there, still waiting for someone to climb those stairs. if I ever have a son of my own, he won't learn love from being alone. He won't hear silence when his heart breaks loud. He won't search for mercy in a faceless crowd. I'll sit by his bed when the night gets deep, pray over his dreams while the shadows sleep. And if he asks why my eyes look cold, I'll say some stories are heavy to hold. I was not raised, I was survived. I was not guided, I stayed alive. But God saw the boy that the world never held, and walked through the dark while I raised myself. I grew up abandoned under blackened skies, with dust in my heart and fire in my eyes. I cried in the dark when nobody could tell, so I learned to raise myself. No blood came back, no arms reached down. I built my soul from the cold hard ground. They left me alone, but they couldn't tell that lonely boy would raise himself. I grew up abandoned, so I learned to raise myself.